All right, this is our lead follow-up best practices. This is what I train my team on to get the absolute most out of paid leads that are coming into us. So this is going to come across as quite aggressive, but I assure you, if you follow it, you are maximizing your chances for success. It's the reason we use it. So you want to get the absolute most out of paid leads that are coming in. So I want to emphasize two really key concepts here: speed to lead as well as persistence, because both of those two are going to ensure that you maximize your conversion rate on these leads. So if a lead that you've paid for has already come in, they've raised their hand and they want your services. It's important that while they're red hot, that you reach out to them right away. So speed to lead is incredibly important, and what I mean by that is calling them within 5 minutes is going to be the standard that you should set for your team. So whenever a lead comes in for my team, that's something that I track deliberately because of how important it is. So with persistence, you're going to see great results as well. And so this can be through automation. There's a lot of additional tools that you can use to take on that additional step of nurturing them if they don't initially convert. So, but 78% of leads will convert with persistent follow up. The important thing I really want to emphasize here, if there's one thing that you take away from what I'm saying and this document, is that calling within 5 minutes will increase your conversion by up to 400%. Comparatively, waiting just 10 minutes drops your chances of contact by over 80%. Now, why is that? Well, the thing is, when people are saying yes to your services and they want to contact you, in that moment, that's what they want, and they want to hear from you. Now, life happens, right? The phone rings, someone else calls, they get doing something else, they need to take their dog for a walk, right? It is important that to maximize your chances, you contact them right away. And if they don't initially get contact with that lead, you want that follow up to make sure that you're maximizing these opportunities. So an important tactic here is that when you call for the very first time, you should be double tapping them. And what I mean by that is that you want to call them as soon as you hit the voicemail, you hang up, you immediately call back. A couple of reasons why. One, prospects will understand that someone's calling twice is serious. Spam callers do not call twice. And so you're a real human is on the line. Auto dialers cannot double tap typically. So that means that it's a real human that wants to get in touch with them. Your chance of a pickup goes up quite a bit. The second big reason why is that most phones now have a automatic do not disturb mode. So what that means is your cell phone, if you put it flat down, will automatically go into do not disturb mode. And that means that if an inbound call comes in, it will just go to voicemail. That you won't actually it won't you won't ring. So a phone that receives two calls from the same number back to back will bypass do not disturb mode and will automatically the phone will ring, right? And so that increases your pickup chance significantly. So the double tap method is going to be key. I recommend that for every single contact of these leads that you're reaching out to. There's the possibility that if it's a do not disturb mode, you can bypass it that way. And if they're screening their calls for unknown numbers, they think you're a spam caller, they're not going to pick up initially, right? So, like I said here, double tapping, very important. If on the second time they do not answer, of course, leave a great voicemail introducing yourself, saying, hey, I saw that you're interested in our services, just want to reach out to schedule a time for us to come by, right? Sending a text message immediately after is also really important. A lot of people do not answer their phone from unknown numbers. And so if you leave a text message, that can often be a more comfortable avenue for you. Some people just prefer text. People are busy, right? They responded to outreach either by text, email, funnels, other methods. It is most likely that text is their preferred method of communication, right? And then that day, you want to be sending a follow up email. Really important. So if you're not able to do it, you're in the truck, you're out and about, and a lead comes in, you want to be following definitely this sequence right here. Later in the day, when you get back to the office, you want to be sending that follow up email. Later on in the day, you want to be calling them again. Now, the reason you want to do that is because you want to alternate times on when you're reaching to people. Some people are morning people where they have a lot of time early on in the day, but they get very busy later on in the day. The people that are free in the evening might be, early risers, and they're not going to answer their phone early on in the day. So you want to alternate, and that same day you want to be calling at two different times, right? The day two, so with that follow up, very important, call in the morning, call in the evening. In between, you want to be sending a text message, and this text message should be something very personable, very human, because people get a lot of automated text messages, right? So something to the effect of, hey, I'm going to be in this neighborhood tomorrow around 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. Would you like me to come by so that we can get together? Right? Something like that is going to help your engagement. Be clear in who you're and who is texting. So company name, they're already going to know who you are. So mention, hey, this is Phil from FixFinder. I saw that you were interested in our services. I'm going to be in your neighborhood at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Would you like me to come by? Provide a quote, right? Email, again, you want to have these sequences in place. You don't want to be personalizing is important, but it's just better that you send the email anyway. So if you have some pre-built emails, that's going to be the easiest when leads come in. It is important to maybe personalize the first line or two, but really you just want to have content ready to go for them, explaining your value, your company, maybe having a quick testimonial. All of those things are really going to help with your engagement when you start to really get leads in at scale. Um, Day 3 to 5, consistency here is going to be key. So you want to be doing, again, calling it two different times, morning, afternoon. You want to vary those. You want to be having daily text messages that you're sending out as well. Email every other day. Again, you want to maybe personalize the first line, but otherwise you want to have some content ready to go. So the day 6 and 7, that's when you really want to have your last chance text. So, hey, is this still something you're interested in? Is this still something that you need our help with? Those types of text messages can be really great. I can't tell you the number of appointments that I've booked of people saying, "Oh yes, I'm so sorry. I've just been really busy. Absolutely, let's do it." Right. So those last ditch text messages can really make a big impact. So again, final calls, as well as having a wrap up email. If you have a direct booking link, that's going to be really good to put in there. Not a good idea to put a direct booking link in your first and second email, in my experience. The reason being that can trigger us if they may have a spam blocker on that, and having links from emails that have not initially been replied to can sometimes put you in that category. So that's something you want to avoid for your first or second email, but in your last ditch emails, absolutely put it in there, and they may just direct book. So some other tips that really makes a big difference. You want to be using a local number with your business attached to it if you're calling out from your business line. If you're using different services like Twilio, you obviously want to sign up for Shaken and Stir, and having your business name in the caller ID. That's going to be really important. Otherwise, it's just going to be, if you don't have Shaken and Stir, it goes straight to voicemail. So it's important to have your number registered. And if your company name is not in the caller ID, they don't know who is calling. Some people avoid unknown numbers. Really important to keep that in mind. If you're calling from a cell phone, that as long as it's not a brand new number, you should be just fine. Always leave a voicemail. They really do work. Even if it's just going straight to voicemail, people do listen to them. And you want to talk like a human, not a robot. And as you're starting to get high volume of leads, that becomes more difficult, but it's still really important to personalize wherever possible because it's going to increase your conversion. All right. So instant responses ultimately get more appointments. And if you don't initially get an answer, you want to keep following up. These contacts, it's not that they're not interested, it's that life just gets busy. They're not cold. They just need your help in finding a time that works for them. Right. So the post 7 day long term nurture plan, this is going to be really important for the growth of your business. Right. So Having a plan in place, so be it a weekly, bi-weekly emails, taking a bit of time, even with just ChatGPT, setting this up, that's going to be huge for your business. So as leads come in, be it from inbound calls of other sources or leads from us, you're building a database and you want to get the most out of that database. Have some way that you can put people on a long-term nurture sequence, so that you can get the most out of them. If you have emails, then use them, right? So monthly text follow-ups, set yourself some reminders, go through that list, text them all again, say, hey, do you still need help with your roof? You'll get people that way. And then remarketing ads, if you already have their contact, you might as well. If you're able to do that, there's really great ways to just upload CSV files on Meta, and you can just remarket to even as few as a few hundred contacts. So that could be a really cheap way to reactivate old leads as well, right? So some final notes, right? These are exclusive leads. You're not competing with all of the other contractors for this same lead. They asked you. So you don't necessarily need to be the cheapest contractor, but being the fastest, the most consistent, and the most professional is going to get you the most success. So if you follow this sequence, you're going to close more deals, and you're going to waste fewer leads, and you're going to grow faster with FixFinder. Thanks so much, guys.